got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. 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 Ain't no other king in this rap thing, they siblings. Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. I'm in a city with a flag be getting thrown like it was past interference. Padlock around the building. Crash pulling up an unmarked truck just to play freeze tag. With a boner pick like it was sea bass. So when I made it out, I made about 50K from a show. Trying to show niggas the ropes before they hung from a rope. I'm prophetic. They only talk about it, how I get it. Only good for saving face, seen the cosmetics. How many heads I gotta take to level my aesthetics? Hurry up and get your muscle up. We up the plyometric. Nigga ran up by the Lux soon as up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouth get full of deceit, let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Monster! Oh man. Niggas acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
Shit getting crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious, 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 crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
Your court television news starting now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a end of the month broadcast with your boy / host NJCourts TV. All right, give me a second just to get some of my lighting here. As always, the sun's starting to come down, so I got to turn my lights on, and it's going to look all yellow. It's kind of why I wanted to start a little earlier, which I thought by starting at this time, the sun was going to be still out a little bit more, but it's starting to hit the other side of the house. So let me put the light above me on really quick, and we will get this show started. Say a quick hello to everybody, and we're going to get right to it. As you guys can see behind me, and by accidentally, I forgot to erase one of the thumbnails. So if you see the thumbnail with a bunch of that was from our last episode of NJCourts TV. So just mind that. And yeah, so here in a second when we get to the next thumbnail, those 4 to 5 individuals, I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 individuals you see on that thumbnail. That's old Michelle at the end there, right next to that big old fat head is what took up most of the space on my damn thumbnail. But anyways, we're going to go over all 6 of those individuals' court updates, okay? All of them had court appointments or hearings this month, the month of January. Today is January 31st. This is the last day of this month. Tomorrow will be officially February 1st. And don't forget, February is a short month, so it's only got 28 days. But either way, I got some updates. We're going to go over them really quick. I know it's Saturday night. I know a lot of you got probably some hot dates going on tonight, some good shows going to be popping on here in a bit on the old Netflix. So I will try not to take too much of your valuable time, and I want to say a big thank you to those that are joining me today. Thank you for everybody joining in the chat. I see we've got, is it Uwu Kick Clips? Welcome to the chat. Saying, is the reason Zena's still in South America is she might get arrested on landing back in Texas? Well, we'll talk about it. As a matter of fact, we're just going to go ahead and knock her out as the first person we'll get an update on, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Welcome, ICU, member of the jury, member of the mod squad. Good to see you in the chat. What up, Vanessa Jean? Welcome, my friend, member of the jury, and as a matter of fact, good to see you in the chat. I want to say a big thank you to Vanessa Jean, who helped support today's stream with a $25 Venmo donation that was sent earlier this week. So, Vanessa Jean, thank you so much for your continued support, my friend. And for those of you that got them gabbles in the chat, you know what to do. Spam them gabbles in the chat for me, please. This gabble slam goes out to you, Vanessa Jean. And thank you for getting this show started the right way. If you guys would like to help support the stream, we've got all our stream donation links all posted up on the video description, as well as I've got them pinned up at the top. Not needed, but always welcome, and is what helps continue this stream and all our shows to continue going on. And I hope to have a wonderful start to this year. And as a matter of fact, we got a really interesting trip coming up very soon that I can't wait to share with you guys. So I appreciate all the financial donations, but just by being here and participating in chat is fine enough for me. And if you can, only if you want, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get started. Let me get the light turned on, and we are going. Ever since the last time I used this laptop to stream, I kind of cursed my OBS program. I don't know if you guys remember the last major stream I did on this. Well, not last, but before I started having a lot of these technical issues. And you guys probably might not notice them, hopefully, but I basically spent all day today trying to tweak my OBS settings because I had to tweak them a little bit when I did the haunted house stream. If you guys remember when we were in Kansas, part of our Midwest road trip, and I had actually plugged in a separate, it was a crazy setup we had going on because we had like an infrared camera plugged into the laptop, and I had to change the settings, and unfortunately it kind of, when I changed them back, I must have missed something, so I've got it, I think 99.9% tuned the way I like it, but I appreciate your guys' patience if we do run into some technical difficulties, and I promise by next stream I should have those all sorted out. What up, everybody coming in the chat? We've got Howard Beal. We got Rad Andy. Welcome. Yeehaw! Howdy. All right, let me take a little sip here, and we'll get going, I promise. So let's start off with old Xena the Witch. Let me get her. I already got her information ready to go, so we're going to switch over to, let's see here. God damn. I thought I had. Never cease to amaze me when I think I'm ready to do something. It's always fucked up. All right, where is this at? Search results. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. I wasn't too effed up here. Okay, so remember, she's got a few cases pending right now. All right, she's got the protective order, one that was opened up, and we didn't look too much into that, but I think when we did, and again, this I can't confirm for sure, but I believe that protective order had something to do with the incident when she got into that altercation / alleged fight with that Merc off the perk other streamer individual, and that was in another county in Texas, and I think that was Bastrop County, which we were able to start getting some paperwork and information about that, but I didn't, it wasn't worth the time to, just to look up what a PO was for. We kind of already had an idea. But that's what you see there at the bottom that says open next to protective order. Right above it, those two misdemeanors are going to be having to do with the arrest, having to do with the paintball incident over the summer of 2025. As a matter of fact, just to refresh your memory, let's jump over to a little quick video. And then don't forget, she just picked up 2 more new charges over the December month, which had to do with an alleged altercation between her and her, I guess, ex-boyfriend or alleged ex-boyfriend. So according to somebody in the chat, they're stating, and I didn't know this, that I guess she is out of the country. I don't know. I don't follow her, so I don't know if she's streaming, which I would imagine, she's going to take any opportunity to make the money if she can. But I'm not sure if the reason she went over to I guess it's my understanding she's in South America, is to possibly, avoid, I guess, showing up to court, because she does have, well, hold on. This gets interesting because I didn't know she was in South America. So let's refresh your memory again to what happened. And I think she put in a continuance, which is funny because, generally you have to have a good reason for a continuance. And I'll show you when her next court date is. But she didn't have court when she was supposed to this month. It looks like they had a continuance put in, and now this kind of makes sense. If she wasn't in the country, which I wonder if she, let her bonds company know as well as the court know that she was going to be leaving out of the country, if that was part of her stipulation as far as her post-release conditions. But either way, let's go over to that video. But welcome everybody coming in the chat. Vinny, who is Vinny? What up, Darwin? Zena's chilling. I have a clip of her. Oh, my God. So, yeah, I guess she's still... I'll tell you what, man. I guess that's kind of what makes a lot of these people interesting to a lot of you. Which they were interesting to me for a couple of years, but I'm starting to get just kind of over it. But, just a perfect example of somebody that currently is facing 1, 2, 3, 4 misdemeanors. Actually, I could have swore that one of them was a felony, but we're going to take a look at the charges here in a second. But as of what I'm seeing now, they're misdemeanors. But basically someone who's facing 4 misdemeanors and then is still doing stupid shit, in another country, which, mind you, I don't know what the rules are in South America or where she's currently at, but it ain't like the good old USA, and she's kind of used to getting her ways and, just the kind of the ways of our laxed court systems here in the USA, which might not be the same in South America. A good example is look at old Vitali, he just was recently deported back to Russia and then came back to the United States, which I still think he is back in the U.S. now. Last time I had seen a video clip of him, he was hanging out with old Jack Doherty, which I don't think that's a good combination of those two to be hanging out, being that I think Jack's currently facing a criminal charge in Florida, but I don't know what the case is with old Vitali, if he's completely out of everything that he got in trouble for, which I'm pretty sure he is. But, you think after all that shit he went through, he would take a little break, but he's back in Florida, and you know what happens in Florida, man? Nothing good. All right, so let's go over to that video clip really quick. Oh, shit, hold on, sorry. Make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. All right, cool. It's just a 30-second video clip, just to remind you exactly of what the original 2 charges that she got back in the summer of 2025 are all about, or what caused or led to those 2 charges she's facing now. All right, here you go. I'm going to shut up. Oh, actually, I just reminded myself. See, this is part of those technical difficulties, so thank you for your patience. I have to do something here really quick on the audio settings, or else you guys aren't going to hear shit. All right, so let's go ahead and unmute. I guess I can listen to it too. All right, here we go. Get that on full screen for you guys.
What are we doing? Sorry. That's a real worker you almost shot at. Huh? Yeah, that's a real worker you almost I don't give a fuck.
Like they're doing it around members of the public is utter bullshit.
Yeah, she fucking shot me.
Hold up. Who did?
Somebody please call the cops. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's your name? Where did she shoot you? In the thigh. Do you know who it was?
Can you please turn that off?
Yeah, I just wanted to get the evidence because I can.
It's one of the girls.
Direct paintball to skin shot. All right. So, yeah, just a short clip. So basically, let me switch back over here. God damn it. All right, here we go. There we go. So, yeah, that incident led to this. Now, let me jump over to her charges here. So we're going to start with the first 2 that she picked up last year. Well, I guess these newer ones were picked up last year, but they were at the end of last year. These were the ones that she picked up over the summer. So let's start with the first one here. Let me jump back over here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Hey, welcome, Mr. Rebel, and welcome, Vinny. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to... I said this year I would be nice, so I'm not going to share my personal opinion of what I think about Xena, but I'm going to concur with most of you in the audience. All right. What was I going to do again? Oh, yeah, I got to figure out a way to make... I got to learn how to use hotkeys, man. That'll make this a lot easier. Okay, here we go. So, one of the charges is going to be the assault causing bodily injury. Again, this is stemming from August 13th of 2025. Misdemeanor charge. So, yeah, they were misdemeanors. If one was going to be felony type, it would have been this one. So, I thought one was a felony. So, she lucked out. That's for sure. But basically, look at down here. These are her hearings, okay? So, she had a bond review on August 21st. That's when she got out of jail. Then she had a hearing on August 27th. That was canceled. Then she had one on the 28th. That was canceled. She had one on September the 5th. That got canceled. That was supposed to be her first appearance was supposed to be August 28th. That one got canceled. Then they rescheduled for September the 5th. That one got canceled. Then they had a pretrial conference on October 6th, and they were supposed to have a hearing this month, which looks like that one got rescheduled because they have a now hearing scheduled for February 24th. So, if she is not back by February 24th, or she possibly could call her attorney and have her attorney, submit another continuance. But basically, I would imagine to say if she's still in South America after that date, and being the fact that she's probably going to be streaming herself, would be probably a good sign that she may not be coming back to that hearing, which would be stupid in my opinion. I mean, what are you going to do? Dodge the hearing and then, eventually come back to United? I mean, they're just misdemeanors. It's not like they're going to go fucking extradite her and anything like that, So I don't think she's probably dodging it. But I have a feeling that she allegedly, I'll say allegedly, probably didn't mention to anybody of importance, i.e. her bonding agency company or the judge, that she was going to be leaving out of the country. And maybe she did. Maybe that's why they rescheduled her hearing. I don't know. But she's got another hearing coming up February 24th. That's going to be for her. I think they actually made it easy on her and scheduled all her cases for that date. So she's got this assault causing bodily injury. And then let's go back here to the next one she picked up that day. She's got, what up, Candy Cane? She's got deadly conduct. That's a misdemeanor. That's a second charge she picked up from that incident, the paintball incident. And yeah, February 24th hearing on 8:30 on that one. Let's jump over to the new two charges she picked up. And if you're just kind of new to all this information, you can probably go back, maybe 4 or 5 streams from last year. They're from, late December. Or just best ways to just, if you're on a desktop, is to just search the NJCourts TV's channels, the main page, and just type in the search box Xena the Witch, and you'll see all the coverage that we've done since the day that she got in trouble. She even was, we even covered when she got arrested. I think it was live, as a matter of fact, when they arrested her for that incident when she was in Texas still, in Austin. So we've got a lot of coverage from the incidents that happened in the two incidents, or the one incident that led to the 2 charges that happened back in August of last year. And then we've just barely started covering these 2 new charges she picked up, which I didn't even know she had picked up until I started just, I went back to kind of, do a little update for myself of what was going on, and then noticed that there was 2 new charges and said, oh, shit. And then we went ahead and did an update on that. But yeah, if you want more information about this case, you can definitely find it on the main page on NJCourts TV. All right, so yeah, she's got court date February 24th, and this is going to be for unlawful restraint. So this happened on December 1st of last year. This was having to do with her alleged ex-boyfriend. So unlawful restraint, that's a misdemeanor. And then the other charge she picked up was another assault causing bodily injury, but this is considered a domestic because it's family violence. And that one is going to be scheduled for February 24th. So, yeah, they, I guess, made it easy for her and the judicial system, or at least the court, the judge, and went ahead and scheduled all her cases for the same date. So, I guess we'll find out more when it comes closer to that date on what she's going to be possibly facing, or if she's going to be entering a plea deal, or if, she's going to plead not guilty and this goes to a jury trial. either way, I have a feeling, and this is based on a lot of the other people we've covered, that she's just going to extend this out as long as she can. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Any questions? What up, Mr. Jack Mahoff? What up, Kay? Were you ever really into watching CX IP2 streamers? Were they mostly just an easy target to report on their arrests? Yeah, an interesting choice of words you got there. You must definitely be a hater. But we'll answer your question. So, I could probably guarantee you that I've been into the whole CX network way longer than you have, one. But I appreciate that you actually know about that, because IP2 was just a branch off, which is the current branch off you see now of just a bunch of chomos and weirdos. The CX days were the good old days. But anywho, yeah, I used to watch a lot of the live streamers, the OG streamers, people that you probably never heard of. The new people I could care less for because they're not real live streamers. They're just trash. I cover a lot of different people. As a matter of fact, a lot of the people that you even consider IP2 streamers don't even consider themselves IP2 streamers. So if you actually look at the numbers of people I've covered that actually consider themselves IP2 streamers, I think we're just covering one right now. And the funny thing is that community doesn't even like that bozo. So think about that. This person, idiot, tries to claim they're part of the little chomo community, and he's so chomo that the community of chomos don't even want anything to do with him. So that's pretty scary. But yeah, so basically because a lot of my audience, because of Ski Mask Andy, came from that community, they were interested in those people. So they were the ones that, because you probably don't know a lot about my community, I actually get a lot of tips from people, and based on what people are interested in from my audience, those are the people that I cover or choose to cover. And easy target, I think anybody that's a live streamer, what they consider a lolcow these days. I don't even consider live streamers, but basically these people that are just a bunch of trash that don't put any money or production time or value into their streams and just use it as a way to beg for drug money. Yeah, unfortunately, with all that and that on the rise right now, and it being pretty interesting for a lot of my audience, yeah, it makes it really simple to cover a lot of people, but doesn't necessarily mean they're from that community. Basically, I would say 25% of the internet is trash, and that's what I cover. Hopefully I answered your question. All right. Let's see. Did he really? Oh, Marlo. Damn, he been in jail for a while now, huh? Yeah, I know a lot of people still want me to continue covering that mess, but I'm not going to do that. One, I don't even think that guy's in anybody. You know, he just exists in his own little universe. And the stories are so just back and forth between him and what's her face. And you know, I have nothing but just, you know, prayers for those people that I hope they can fix their situation, both of them, and get the help that they need. But as far as giving them coverage, I think at this point that's just basically feeding into their problems and something that I feel that they should probably stay off of, which is the internet and social media. So it's kind of why I've discontinued coverage on those individuals. So, but thank you for letting everybody else know in chat. Let's see here. What up, Scoom? Welcome everybody coming to chat. So let's move on to our next victim. So who do we have on the board? You guys want to do Scribbles and Company? Kill two birds with one stone? Let's do that. All right. So what would you consider them? I guess they would be considered tonight. Well, he would be part of the IP2 community, the new community now, right? So I lied. I think we're currently covering two people from that community. My bad. All right. So Scribbles and Fam. Let's go over their case here. I don't think I got to show you the video or remind you exactly what happened to get him and his wife in trouble. But just in case, again, plenty of coverage we've done on that incident, and you can find that on the main NJCourts TV channel. And let me just, what up, Yub Nub? To, who was it? KM. I hope, and you sound like a cool person, so I hope you don't think that I was directing any comments towards you. So I just wanted to make that clear. I just wanted to answer your question as best as I could, but if it sounded like I was being personal, I wasn't. All right. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Let's see. Who else did I see that looked like a new person in the chat? I think it was just Yubnub. Hope everything's good with you there, Yubnub. All right. So let's see here. Let me see what you guys can see. Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. You guys can see what I'm looking at. All right. I used to be all fancy and put my little self down here in the corner, but I'm with all the other technical difficulties I have with this program, we're not going to do that tonight. Plus, who wants to see my little head on this? This allows you to see everything easier, so we'll just go this route. All right, so again, this is all public information you guys can access. This is off of the Riverside Superior County Court search website. This is going to be Scribbles, and then we'll jump over to Miss Scribbles. Let's go up the ladder here. But basically, if you guys remember, he was arrested back in July of last year, and he was charged with a few charges and some pretty serious ones. To be exact, we've got it looks like a total of 4 counts, but I think as of right now, we just went ahead and said that because we see 3 of them as the status active, we're just going to assume that it's, I guess, 3, not 4 charges. But it looks like he was arrested for PC criminal threats, death/GBI, which is a felony. There's a charge for that. Okay, I see. That was the arrest. Maybe there was 2 charges originally, and maybe now they're just charging him with 1. I think what it was is maybe there was 4, and now they're charging him with 3. Excuse me. One of them being kind of the repeat, you know. But either way, looks like he's got a felony charge of PC criminal threats, death/GBI. And again, he was arrested on July 9th. He's got a PC have-fire explosive. That's a felony. And he's got a PC vandalism, another felony. So basically 3 felonies he pled not guilty to on August 20th of last year. And he did have, he was supposed to have court on the 26th. And it looks like they went ahead and did a continuance. This is down here. Let me highlight this here for you. We've seen this a lot. So it looks like, starting actually October 28th, they did a continuance. Then he was scheduled for a hearing on January 26th, but there was another continuance done. So now he has court scheduled for April the 10th, 8:30 a.m. And this is under the type of hearing. It shows a felony settlement conference. So that's pretty interesting. I'm going to just kind of go out there. Remember, I'm no lawyer or anything like that. I'm just an armchair lawyer like the rest of y'all. But I'm going to go out there and say that probably has to do with maybe him and his lawyer and the public defender, or him, his lawyer, and the prosecutor sitting down and possibly making some type of plea deal prior to this going into a trial or jury trial, since he pled not guilty. That's what I'm going to assume what that might be. And don't forget, he had to bond out on a $50,000 bond, which I think we were still trying to figure out what the percentage is in California. But if it's like most states, it's about 10% is what you pay the bonds person. So somebody had to fork out $5,000 for that guy to get out, and they're never going to get that back. So let's go ahead and go back, and let's do a search for Miss Scribbles here, and let's see what's going on with her. If I remember when I did an update for myself, obviously I do research prior to going on and doing my show, and I believe she's got the same court hearing as he does, which would kind of make sense, but let's just double check and just go over refresh your memory as far as what charges she's facing. So as of right now, we can confirm Scribbles is facing 3 felony charges, maybe 4, but as of right now, he's allegedly being charged with 4 charges. Well, not alleged, he is, but for the alleged crimes that they're saying he did. All right, so let me go over here. Let me do this. Yeah, God damn it. I hate when it gets this. I'm going to be, and that's like I said, we really do appreciate financial donations because 100% of those go right back in the channel. I've been saving up the last donations we've gotten to get a nice lighting system here. I had a pretty nice little O-ring, but it's not going to work. So I found, what's the brand again? I think it's a pretty decent brand. It's like what I see most of the streamers using. But they got a 2-pack of these huge, they look big in the image, but they're probably about like maybe 1.5 to 2 feet, both, all 4 sides. And it's a set of 2 of these big ass lights, and they got like I forgot the terminology, but they have like the little shades on them, to oh man, they got these crazy terms for it. I forgot, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting those because that's definitely going to help. So again, thank you guys for putting up with the shitty lighting, but we're working on that. All right, so let me go pull up Miss Scribbles really quick. Let's see. Oh, now I got to go check chat really quick. What up, Alan G Network? RD. You're asking Alan G. I was going to say I'm aware of, I think, of who RD is. I think that's somebody I met when I was hanging out with the RV bros in the RV that one night. I think one of the callers was RD. I think he talks like that, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a little accent. All right. So let's pull up Miss Scribbles. Sorry. Got a little distracted. Trying to work on reading chat and multitasking at the same time. I think we're getting a little bit better at it. Ooh, they make me answer a math question here. It's kind of interesting. What happens if you never learn math, man? Fucking CAPTCHA? That's a little racist. You have to be intelligent just to figure out whether I'm a computer or an actual, or if I'm a robot or a human. Now they got me, dude, they got me 5 plus 3 now. What the fuck? All right, that's 8. All right, let me in. Here we go. All right, let me show you guys what I got going on here. There we go. So this is Miss Scribbles here, a.k.a. Marissa Perdickus. Sorry. I think I enunciated the dickus a little too much. So she is facing 3 charges, it looks like. See, this is kind of like Scribbles here, where it looks like 3 charges, but then it just shows 2 of them being active. You know what I mean? You see right here? 1 felony, 2 felonies, 3 felonies. But then she's only got 2 of them that are active, and she's only pled not guilty to 2 of them. So I'm going to assume, I guess, both of them were probably charged possibly with 2 charges of this PC assault with deadly weapon, non-firearm, or by force to cause GBI. Maybe they were arrested originally on 3 charges, but the district attorney just went ahead and prosecuted, Scribbles on 3 of the 4, and on Miss Scribbles 2 of the 3. Because same thing here, like I said, it looks like 3 charges originally, but it only looks like 2 of them are active. But either way, it looks like she's been slapped with a PC assault with deadly weapon, non-firearm, or by force to cause great bodily injury. That's what GBI means. That is a felony. She pled not guilty to that on August 20th. And then she's got another charge. This is PC, have fire explosive. And this is another felony. So she's facing 2 felonies. Her hubby's facing 3 felonies. And again, over what? Getting jazzed up by a bunch of fucking retards on a stream. And, and unfortunately, instead of just taking the keys and tossing them into the grass or somewhere on the roof, and again, I know she was trying to keep them from driving drunk. And which is awesome that she did that, but she should have never drove him over there, in my opinion. But anywho, looks like, let's see when her court date's coming up. Let's see. So same thing. They had a date. They had a court date on October 28th. That got continued. They had one this month on January 26th. That got continued. So she's got the court date just like Scribbles for April 10th at 8:30 a.m. So I guess we'll find out more come April 10th. And that's also a felony settlement conference. And don't forget, she had to get bonded out of a $25,000 bond. So somebody had to post $2,500, assuming 10%. So let's just assume it was one family member out of the household, because if it's my understanding, I just think one of them is employed, but maybe I'm wrong. But either way, let's just say it was somebody. Maybe it was two people. Who knows? Who cares? I don't care. But either way, just to get these two people out of jail came down to, if we assume 10% of the bond, $5,000 plus $7,500 that somebody's never going to get back. That's how the bonds people make their money. It's that 10%. So, $7,500 mistake that you'll never get back, and one person facing 3 felonies, another one facing 2 felonies. And if you've never gotten a felony on your record, I would say that's probably going to be a life-changing experience for possibly these two. I don't know if Scribbles has one, and I don't know if his wife has one, already. Yeah, jeez Louise, man. Scribbles says his mom got him out. Well, I guess his mom's going to be out $7,500 then. California Penal Code. That's what PC stands for. Thank you. No one shared the clip of Scribbles tampering with a witness, begging Eric to drop the charge. I've never seen the clip. RD can't access sites protected by CAPTCHA. Why? He doesn't know math? I think they got like an alternate. Hold on. Let's see if they've got. Let me see what happens if you don't know the answer. That's a good question. Watch. Let's go back. You got me kind of curious. What happens if you just never learn basic math? I mean, when does it have to be? I mean, I guess the internet, there's really no constitution to the internet, so I guess they can do whatever the fuck they want. Well, there are kind of rules and stuff. So see, look, here's the CAPTCHA. You guys see it? So let's see what it says. It's asking let's clear it. Let's clear. And it says 7 plus 9. There's a math question. It doesn't even give me a fucking option if I'm wrong. Watch, let me put the case number, and then I'll put in the answer and see what happens. God damn it. You got me fucking hunging rebel, and now you got me fucking off track for a second. It's all right. All right. Second to last short posted under Scribbles Clips. All right, we'll check it out. Let's go check it out. Let me find that really quick. Let's go back to put this. There we go. Hell yeah. Oh, you do got my light on. Jesus. All right. So I'm assuming I just got to type in Scribbles Clips to find you on YouTube. I'm assuming. All right. So we'll do @Scribbles Clips. Man, Scribbles probably all excited. He's got his own clip channel. Are you sure this isn't Scribbles himself trying to just get me to promote his own clip channel that he made for himself? Just kidding. All right, I see Scribbles IRL clips. Oh, you must do a lot of shorts. I see that. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hope some of these are AI. All right. Oh, these are AI. But I don't see it. Otherwise, I would play it. You said the second to last? Second to last says, meet the love of my life. I don't see anyone with Eric. But they are funny. If you guys need a good laugh and you're following Scribbles and company, check out Scribbles IRL clips. All right, let's move on. Who do we got on the next on the list here? Who do you guys want to move to? I think we've got Lando. We can move over to Canada. We can, save one of these two ugly fucks for the last. Let's do Canada. Let's go over to Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Show it. Well, you know what? You're going to have to pay to show it, Blues Guy. I'm going to pull one of those cards on you. All right. Anyways, let's move on. I was just kidding about the math question. They probably have some alternate thing like they used to do the little thing where you'd have to like figure out what word or letter it was, which those things can be fucking, honestly, I'd rather answer a math question. All right, well, we're moving on from Scribbles. We already gave him enough attention, but if people want to check it out, they can go check it out on your channel. I shouted it out. You're welcome. All right. Let's see here. Where are we moving on to? Let's go to old Canada. As a matter of fact, I don't even have to show you that one. That one's boring. They don't tell you much information. I'll just read you what they have here. I got my little... So he's got 3 court dates coming up. 2 of them are on the same date, and 1 of them's the next day. So I'm going to assume that there are 3 charges still, because that's, since we started covering Lannon's case, it's always shown 3 cases, 3 separate case numbers, okay? On one of the case numbers, it says, to be spoken to. That's the one he's got scheduled for February the 10th. On the other 2, which are scheduled for February the 9th, one of them says to take a plea, and the other one says to take a plea. So I'm going to assume, and again, that's all they put as far as the information out, that he's probably looking to try to take a plea deal. Which definitely confirms that he still didn't get these dismissed like he was trying to say he did, you know. Obviously, it's still 3 active cases. And you got to remember, he's gotten in some pretty serious trouble in the past, you know, and which he's got a felony for. So I don't know how that's going to affect, or if it will affect, these new charges. I'm not too familiar with Canada's laws. But I guess we'll find out coming. A lot of people, man, look like all their stuff got pushed to February. We'll have some more updates for you guys as far as what's going on with him. But apparently somebody and you know, I don't go check this shit because I could care less, but somebody had messaged me not too long ago that I guess he had gone live. So I don't know what he said. I don't know if he talked about his case. I don't know what that all was about. But apparently, you know, if they're, I wouldn't see why they're lying. He was live not too recently. So maybe if you guys go onto his page or whatever, you can find out some more, but I could care less. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy, you know, like I said, I don't wish anything bad on anybody. I hope all these people get their shit straight at some point. The sooner the better for everybody, including themselves, most importantly, and their families. But it's just kind of crazy that you had a guy that was actively sitting there on live streams, basically making money to ridicule another guy that he was calling a meth head, you know, making fun of because, you know, saying that he's, you know, hanging out with a bunch of druggies and this and that, for the reality of it being that the whole time he was doing the same thing and using all those donations that he was getting for that, you know. And, yeah, you know, it's like I said, I just kind of, I don't know, man. I just think that's fucking weird. And, like I said, I don't want to get into it because I'm just here to cover the legal aspect of it. But, yeah, it just goes to show you, like I said, all these people, man, every single person I've covered, unfortunately, I don't think there's been one yet that has just done a full recovery or 360 from what they were originally doing. As a matter of fact, the majority of the people this channel has covered, they're either in jail, they're on the run, meaning they have multiple warrants from other states or maybe just one state, or they're on some type of probation, or they're pending another new charge. That's the truth. I mean, it'd take me probably a couple of hours, but I could literally pull out the list of every single fucking person we've covered, and I would put fucking $200 hands down that not one single one of those people has done a change. Not even close to it. Anyways. All right. So let's move on to, I guess we could save the worst for last, as they say. Let's jump over to old MGL Michelle, and then we'll finish up the updates with old Fathead there, a.k.a. old Wabi Dama, Mr. Stinky Winky. Did you guys ever notice, and we can even, I hate dude, that, I mean, I'm not even trying to be mean, because like I said, I was going to be nice this year, but dude, I literally gag anytime I see a picture of that guy, okay? So as much as I don't want to pull it up, I may pull it up for you, because it is funny, but you can actually see it, I think, on one of the thumbnails that I have for him when we covered his actual, and shout out to, God, who was it? I'll remember here in a second. They actually were the ones that were able to record. I'm sure they learned from NJCourts, all right? So shout out to me and a shout out to showing you. But that's the purpose I did this, is so that the public could learn how to do this themselves. So I'm really happy and excited that this individual learned. They went, used their public access to access his court hearing, legally recorded it, and then shared it with the internet. That's how we got it, okay? And I forgot who that was. We gave them their credit when we shared the video. But anyways, going back to that video, I made it my thumbnail for that when we showed the video of his court hearing. You can actually see, I'm not even shitting you. That's why I want you to check it out. You can just see it on my thumbnail. You can see there's the person, so he's standing there, in the little podium next to his lawyer, right? And his lawyer doesn't look very comfortable either. The lawyer looks like he's just disgusted the whole time. If you look behind him, there's another prisoner. It's a female prisoner, okay? She doesn't look the best either. She's literally got her nose plugged. You can see her like this. And she's got a face like, literally, it must stink like fucking curry and asshole. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not trying to be mean, but for that guy just being in jail for one night, 24 hours, boy, that tells me you probably hadn't showered in days, probably weeks. God damn, that's disgusting. Anyways, but yeah, let's jump over to MGL, man. This one's going to shock you guys here, dude. And this is the shit I'm talking about, right? This is why these people don't learn, okay? So let's just go ahead, and I got her information already ready to go. Let's see here. I thought I did. Hold on. I might have jinxed myself because sometimes... here it is. Okay. Excellent. All right. Ooh, it's starting to get dark. You can see how my fucking pictures look like shit now. But it's all right. We're almost done with the stream. All right. So let's go here. Let me shut me off. All right. So this is all, again, public access. You can access this from the Harris County Clerk's Office. This is Harris County in Georgia, because there's also Harris County in Texas. So don't get the two confused. So... check this out. So remember, she had an active case open. Originally, she was charged with 4 charges, the most serious one being a DUI, okay? So remember, when we started covering the case, we learned that, one, it took almost close to a year before they charged her with those charges, which was really weird. As of right now, which we're probably coming close to a year, and if it's my understanding, after 1 year in this county or state, you can't, if you haven't prosecuted the person within that year, then the case gets dismissed. It's my understanding, which is weird. But basically, she's still waiting on one case to be prosecuted on for a DUI. She allegedly got that. We haven't seen any case being, charged as of right now. We're, like I said, coming close to that cutoff date. But then it took forever for this case for her to be charged. And again, when it finally came to the court, they went ahead and didn't charge her for the DUI. They just went ahead and charged her for simple battery, obstruction of an officer, and affixing of a plate to conceal or misrepresent identity. Okay? So 3 charges instead of 4. Those were misdemeanor charges. All right? So I'm just going to read you the disposition. She finally, let me just show you how ridiculous this was, okay? She was literally, I think the offense date, or when she was more or less arrested, was on February 17th of 2024, okay? This case got disposed January 27th of this year, Almost 2 fucking years later, okay? And here's the disposition for you. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Excellent. I hate how this works. All right. So, that little chart there, they've got the 3 charges. The one for simple battery, it says right next to it, the disposition, NOLPROS. That stands for nole. God, this one's a hard one for me to pronounce. It's like nole, it's Latin. Nole prosec. Watch, I'll just have it. I'll have my fucking, whatever they call this thing, say it. Gemini. Doesn't even have it in the spell check. Yeah, here we go. Say it loud.
It looks like you're asking about the legal term noli prosequi. In plain English, it translates from Latin to will no longer prosecute. It is a formal notice entered into the court record by a prosecutor or plaintiff indicating that they are dropping the charges or ending the legal case.
There you go. So, they dropped the charge for simple battery. Oops. They dropped the charge for obstruction of an officer. And then get this. It says they found her guilty for the charge of affixing of plate to conceal. It says guilty, lesser included, expired tag. They gave her 12 months probation and a $287 fine. Let's see if they talk about her probation. General conditions of probation. The defendant is subject to arrest for any violation of probation. If probation is revoked, the court may order incarceration. The defendant shall comply with the following general conditions of probation. Do not violate the criminal laws of any governmental unit and be of good behavior, general good behavior. Avoid injurious and vicious habits. Avoid persons or places of disreputable or harmful character. Report to the probation officer as directed and permit that probation officer to visit at home or elsewhere. Work faithfully at suitable employment insofar as may be possible, and do not change your plan of abode, move outside the jurisdiction of the court, or leave Georgia without permission of the probation officer. If permitted to move or travel to another state, you agree to waive extradition or blah, 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 blah. Let's see what else. Support your legal. 8. When directed in the discretion of the probation officer, submit to evaluations and testing relating to rehabilitation and participate in a successfully complete rehabilitative program. Wear a device capable of tracking. Blah, 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 blah. And you know what? By her not getting, if let's just say that they did charge her with that DUI and she had pled guilty, you know, that would have changed a lot of things, right? I don't know in that state, you know, like in here in New Mexico, I think even on a first DUI charge, it automatically is a 1 year with a breath, you know, what do they call them? The little things you have to blow in to start your vehicle. Most likely, if you were to get probation, you're going to have to submit to alcohol and drug testing. So for her type, you know, and again, I haven't been following her lately. I do know she popped in. Somebody told me in one of Ski Mask's most recent live stream. So obviously she's still on social media. But, you know, let's just assume she's still doing her bad ways. You know, she's not going to learn. You know what I mean? Because the problem she was having at that time, which in my opinion was alcohol, the help she could have gotten from the court is now not going to be, you know, there. Well, she's not going to have to get, you know, she won't be forced to get it now. So she dodged one there. And like I said, honestly, I don't know if it was for a good thing. I think she really needed the help. I believe, Aaron, she did. So I don't think we had the exact police report for that. But if it's my understanding, I think she was just, I don't know if she was using like you know, another plate from another vehicle. if it went that far, or if she may have altered, like, her registration sticker, or something like that. I'm not too sure. It just says affixing a plate to conceal or misrepresent identity. But, yeah, so that's the update on her. You guys want to, I guess, finish up with old Wabi Dama? Let's go ahead and do that. Just give me a minute, because that I have to log in to get that information, I think, because that's out of, Orange County. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the chat. I'll be looking over every once in a while. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got a big old, well, not big, but I got a separate monitor here now that I've been using to read chat. So a lot easier than glancing down at this, especially because I can just go boop, boop. But while we're waiting for me to log in, yeah, I'll be checking out what you guys have to say in chat. Let me just move out of here really quick. There we go. There's me. And let's jump back over here. So we're going to have to go to I don't even know what's going on or what happened. What was the result of her divorce case, remember? Man, I remember that thing was panning out to be a mess when I was following her a little bit. I remember, I think the last thing I heard was like it was basically the court and her husband had already, I don't even know how many orders they had already basically filed, and the judge, had signed off on and directed her to move out of the house, which she was refusing to. So I don't know whatever ended up being of that, if she ever did end up moving out and they sold the house or what, but all right. Oh, yeah, I do. Here, we got to log in right here. Where's the login? Oh, yeah, here we go. We already did one not too long ago. So, God damn it. Hold on. Let me log in here really quick. It had been passed down the word from, obviously, Mike and Eric that he wasn't facing that. I guess they had dismissed the charges against him, right? So I went ahead, when I started hearing that, to confirm the information, I went ahead and did a court case search in that county that he got in trouble. All I was able to pull up was just a past case of his, okay? This was as of, I think, last month when I did that search. As of last month, they had not filed a case against him. So I'm going to want to, and knowing how Mike and Eric are, they've been when we've done interviews with them, they're the type of guys that generally, they might blow a little fluff and smoke in the stories, but most of the time when they're talking about their criminal history, they're pretty just blatant forward with it, as far as the charges I'm covering, maybe not for some other things, but generally when I put them on the spot and asked them, hey, are you still going to court for this, or are you going to court for that? They'll say yes, no, or this is what's going on. So, house was sold. Thank you for confirming that. Well, I'm sure he's happy to get out of that fucking nightmare. I wonder what the condition of that house was, though, when she left it. All right, this means I changed my password, so hopefully this is... What did I change it to? Shit. All right. I'm going to have to do a password reset. My bad, guys. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I know what it is. I didn't try this one yet. to reset it. Well, it's where that's why there was a question mark. I would say the closest out of any of them that would probably might be facing jail time would be the ones facing the felony charges, which is right now would be Mr. and Miss Scribbles. I would say based on their case history and the fact that they're just don't give a fuck and they've got an attitude, and that might reflect on their case and with the judge, that possibly could get maybe a little jail time, but I don't think they will. And if it would be, it would probably be like a day or two, which is already time served. Would next be Miss Amara Sampson, a.k.a. Xena the Witch. Michelle, she's got her shit dismissed, and as right now, it looks like they haven't or will not be charging her with that other alleged second DUI she got. But she does have probation for a year, so she's not totally off the hook, but so she doesn't qualify for any jail. Temporary password sent, okay. So I'm going to have to log in. And then going down the list, man, I don't know. Landon, because he's, of his past record with the felony, and that was a pretty serious one, He went in, he said he had a GUN but didn't have one, but I don't know the exact charges, but that does change a lot of things when you say you have a weapon, But he allegedly robbed a pharmacy 3 days in a row, is the story. And, we do know he picked up charges in a felony. The exact story, that's, I've never pulled a police report. This is from, things that I've heard from him, from other people, and, some pretty close sources. But, and actually, no. There's also a news article about it, so you can read the news article. But, yeah, basically he robbed a pharmacy 3 days in a row, said he had a GUN, and got in some serious trouble. And that's some pretty serious shit. So with that record and these new charges being pretty serious from what I've heard of, and again, I can't speak for Canada because he's the first person we've covered from another country, to exactly what, how they are, how strict they are, is it the whole country? Is it done by counties, states, whatever they call them there? What do they call them there? They have another word for what? God, hold on, don't tell me in the chat. It's not like municipalities, but they got a name for. Hold on. Fuck, what do they call them? All right, I'll remember here in a second. All right, where's my? Oh, I'm not in my NJCourts account. Oh, it's coming to my head. There's my temporary. God, man, they had to give me a fucking fugly-ass temporary password. I don't think I can copy and paste. All right. Let me just write this down. Let's be smarter, not harder. Now I can't find my fucking pen. Oh, there it is. A province. There you go. Damn it. I still think there's another name, though. But you're right, though. They do have provinces, but I think there's one more. And maybe I'm getting it confused with province. All right, I got my temporary password. Let's rock and roll. Thank you guys for your patience. All right, I guess it is a province then. What, the password? Oh my God. I knew that password was so fucked up. I had a feeling. Okay, let's see if I can copy and paste it. Oh, fuck, man. I swear the last time I had to look this shithead up, it was like the same difficulty. There we go. Okay, it worked. Now I got to make a new password. Yeah, I think we're in. Here we go. We're in. You know what's weird is, did I tell you guys that old Ravi Dama got in some type of trouble back in November 22nd of 2019? And we have a case number, but unfortunately, when you click on that case, it's been, what's the exact word again? Let me click on it again. It tells you this. Let me show you. This is pretty interesting. I bet you his parents, I'm going to allege that they had something to do with this because they probably had to pay a lawyer to help get this done. But whatever happened back in that date, when you look up the case information, it says, has been purged. No further case details are available. And when you looked up what is a purge, which I know what it is, but I just want you guys to read it. Case in California court. It says, a purge case in California refers to a court record that has been physically destroyed, deleted, or removed from active databases, ensuring no trace remains. Interesting, huh? It says it was for criminal. It says criminal/traffic. But anyways, let me go back to his new case here. Oops, give me a second here. Back to results. And those are all allegations. I don't know. Like I said, it's been purged, so I don't know exactly what happened, but interesting. What up, Go Girl? Good to see you, my friend. What up, Damien? What up, Traveling Jack? Johnny Donuts, what up, everybody? And yip. If I missed anybody, welcome. All right, so let me make sure you guys can see this here. Oops, you can't. Let me go back here. What did I do here? Oh, there we go. Now you can see it. So there's your case info, all public information you guys can access. He was charged on, this is, again, violation date. Jesus, this is going to be one of those 2-year ones. Violation date, March 30th of 2024. So in March 3rd of this year, it'll be 2 years this has been going on. He was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs. His plea is not guilty, and he pled that on April 1st of 2025. This has been going now, basically, this pre-trial here. Look at this. Since April 23rd of 2025, pre-trial scheduled, then heard. 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 So he had a hearing on the 13th of this month. Now they have another one of those, pre-trial, scheduled for March 5th. Of this year, 8:30 a.m. So, like I've said before, it's not a pattern we haven't seen before. We've seen this before, where look at fucking EBZ. He had that case continued almost for 2 years, and they dismissed it for whatever reason. But it just seems that this is and here's the thing that's funny is, every time they continue this and his lawyer has to make any appearance, even if it's remotely, he's got to get paid. So that's already, think about this for what's considered, just a basic type of charge. It's a misdemeanor. It's serious, especially I consider it a serious thing. DUI, you can hurt somebody, you can kill somebody. This guy allegedly, he did kill somebody on the road. And there was a lot of allegations that he had left a casino and had drank there, was a lot of the alleged. But, and still didn't learn, you know what I mean? But it's just, let's just say, his parents have to pay for this lawyer every time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking times appearances already for a misdemeanor charge. Anyways, his next hearing is going to be March 5th. And let me remind you guys, when we actually cover this story, I'm actually just going to read it from my case log here on my phone, my notes, because I'll have to send it to my email and then post it. It's just a long process, and I'm not going to spend any more time on this shithead. But let me just remind you one more time. Where was it? Oh, actually, you know what? No. I can just do it like this, actually. Hold on. I already got my email up. Let's just do this. Oops. Let me do this. Let's go here. To NJCourts. We'll do a search here. And this one should be right here. No, that's not it. I think this is it. Yeah, here it is. I'm just going to read this to you. Oh, actually, I can show it to you. Here we go. Let me share it with you guys. So this is all public information. I had to do a FOIA request for this. But I want to read you a little bit of the case information. This is kind of like only stuff we could get. How do I scroll down on this? Oh, there we go. We'll just use that. But it tells us a little bit more about his charge, okay? Let me go down to the paragraph that talks about it. So I think a lot of people forget this. But it states right here. Here we go. Count 1. The orange on or about March 30th, 2024, in violation of Section 23152 of the Vehicle Code, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, a misdemeanor, Ravi Raj Dama did unlawfully drive a vehicle while under the combined influence of an alcoholic beverage and a drugs. So it was two things, alcohol and drugs. I don't know exactly what drugs. That's what they're alleging here in this report. But, you know, and don't forget the shenanigans this guy got in over his birthday weekend. Remember when mommy and daddy had to go bail him out of jail 2 days in a row? And the sad thing is that I bet you the court system in California had no clue about what happened. Even if they dismissed those cases, the fact that he's on bail and they have bought bail conditions, I can guarantee you. And again, I can't guarantee. I'll take that back because it is California. But I'm sure there would have been some type of repercussion, had they been aware of, what happened to him in Florida, And we've seen this before. I mean, look at fucking Hampton Brannon when he went through the Florida court system. They never mentioned once about the fact that this guy literally has serious felony charges pending that he's wanted for in the state of fucking California. So it's kind of scary because that kind of tells me that these courts don't cross-check or reference any out-of-state paperwork, which is nuts. I would hope if you murdered somebody and you're wanted for that, they would, but... Hey, Yubnub. Question. Yubnub is who? Is that Mike or Eric? I think that's Eric, right? Eric's Yubnub. Eric, do you mind giving us an update in chat? Has your case been dismissed or is it active? And be honest, because I mean, when I looked, I didn't see it. So, I mean, if I look next month and it is active, we're going to find out. So, hey, if I ever run out of people to cover Yip Yip, we might have to go back that far on people now, man. Hey, thank you so much. We just got a donation from Gold Girl. Gold Girl just hit us with a $20 donation. Thank you so much, Gold Girl. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them motherfucking gabbles if you got one. This gabble slam goes out to you, Gold Girl. I appreciate your continued support, my friend. Thank you again, too, to Vanessa Jean, who had also sent us over a financial, monetary donation, but that was before the show. And we said thank you at the beginning of the show. But again, thank you for you guys for all your support. Right now, we've got a goal for our lighting system, which is going to help here at the studio since we do a lot of these evening broadcasts now. And I've got a really cool road trip coming up here soon. It's going to be in-state. We're not going to leave the state. But it should be a lot of fun. And I appreciate everybody's financial support because that goes right into the gas, man. And it allows us to take these cool road trips that I get to share with you guys. That's, I'm going to bring all the equipment with me, the GoPro, the 2 choppers, and we're going to have, it's going to be a good time, trust me. And I've checked, unless the data coverage map's lying to me, I should have 5G coverage where we're going to, and that is going to rock. All right, back to, what up, Sandman? Back to, let's see. Now, what case? I guess everybody's, I'm assuming it's having to do with the alleged pepper spraying that you did of the homeless guy when you got in that altercation. And Gold Girl's message says, "We miss you." Thank you, Gold Girl. And then let me read you Vanessa Jean's message. I forgot that you guys can leave messages on the donations. That's cool. And Vanessa Jean said that donation's for keeping us informed. Eric has memory issues. I think you remember that. What up, Cry a Little Bit? What up, Official Brutal Impact? Welcome, everybody just rolling into the chat. So, yeah, man, that's all the updates I had for people. I was going to do a call-in, but I had so many... I want to get my technical difficulties straight because I want to get better audio for the call-ins. I want the call to actually go through the computer because it's a Google number. That way the audio is a lot better. So, and I know I can do that. I've done it before. So I'm going to set that up for the next stream. But I think what I want to do now is at the end of every show, give you guys the ability to do a call-in, a free call-in, and that way I can answer some questions over the phone. We did one for our last live stream, which was really cool. Took a couple of calls. We had one successful call come through, but I think we had a few people trying to call, and I don't know if that was on my end, so I apologize if your call didn't get through. But I appreciate the individual that got through in our conversation we had. Yeah, you didn't know? Well, you to get a Google number now, they've changed something. You have to have a phone number. Back in the days, you used to be able to just use a email address, but you had all these people using them to scam and all this shit. So now to get a Google voice number, it's free, but you have to have an actual phone number that it sends a number to. Basically, that's how it verifies you. So as long as you have a phone number, cell phone number, I don't know if a home phone number will work. You can get a Google number. So, what up, and welcome, Tamara Coloring Coven. Tamara's Coloring Coven. So, here's what we can do. I will look into the Yubnub case. Matter of fact, we'll even get Yubnub if Eric's down. We can even do a kind of, well, I don't know. I've never done an actual, what do you call it? Like live, when we do, basically when I do my my interviews, I use StreamYard. But I know you can do interviews using OBS, so I'll have to just learn how to use OBS. But once I do that, we can have an interview with Eric if he wants to come on and discuss the case at hand, and we'll do one last lookup of the case and see if he was bullshitting or not. We can even do a little, maybe we'll do a little bet. Costs me $1 every time I have to look him up, all right? So I think we're at a balance of $5 now I've spent on old Yub Nub there. Element, let me write this down. For text and calls. Oh, okay. I thought it was for something I could use for the streams. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, complaints? Thank you guys for coming in and checking out the Saturday night show. Like I said, I know you guys, a lot of y'all could be on some, hot dates and, have some awesome Netflix shows to watch, but you chose to hang out with NJCourts, and I appreciate you. I really do, from the bottom of my heart, man. I do. I feel that this is now like the real crew that actually is interested in what we have to cover, And I appreciate all those that have stuck in with me when I kind of was retiring the court show a little bit, and for those that stuck in, and now we're, like I said, we're back at it a little bit. Now I am changing things. Don't think we're going back to, we're trying to move away from the riffraff, but I do want to at least, to be fair for those that started the coverage of all these people that I started last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that we finish the coverage. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people, if I'm going to start something, I want to finish it. So that I will do. Now, as far as picking up new motherfucking retard... Oh, sorry, I won't use that word. Low-life... I won't even use that. Bad people... Well, they're going to have to be important bad people before we talk about them. Actually, that brings me up to another last thing before we leave. Do you guys remember... And actually, let me get his name, because out of respect, I do not want to just say that guy or chop up his name, because this is a pretty serious case. And we did cover it just a tad bit. This was out of France, but remember there was a live streamer, basically one of these low-cal live streamers that did a little, like one of these little weekend collaborations with a bunch of other little low-life live streamers, and they basically got this guy pissed drunk, fucked around with him, beat him up a bit, and he died on stream. Does that bring you back to a really sad kind of similar tragedy that, we covered and a lot of you got to see on live stream, unfortunately? And sadly, and I wish that same case, the one for R.I.P. Willie, would have been given the same type of coverage nationally like this French streamer did. I think things would have changed. I think there would have been some people that would have gone through the court process for sure. But it took almost a year. And they finally have prosecuted the guys that were part of this little live stream. But it was the French streamer Raphael Gravin, known as Jean Pormanovi, or JP, died during a live broadcast on the streaming platform Kick. Yeah, good old Kick. The 46-year-old, who had a following of over 500,000 across platforms, died August 18, 2025, during a marathon stream that lasted nearly 12 days, over 298 hours. So they arrested 2 streamers that were there with him on that stream 4 days ago. And let me see what they're going to charge them with. One of them is 26, the other one 23. And they're denying responsibility for the 46-year-old's death, which followed a 12-day live marathon of physical and verbal abuse against him. Gravin died on August 18th during a live stream in which he and another man were struck and insulted by his younger colleagues, though an autopsy has since ruled out intervention by a third party playing a role in his death. They are now being held on charges including, that was at the time, now they are being held on charges including assault, incitement to hatred, abuse of a vulnerable person, and recording and broadcasting violent images. So they actually said that they were actually opening up a case against this group of streamers months before that case, that guy died. So kind of sad. I wonder if even the police kind of failed him, Now, I'm not saying that it's, wasn't his fault, A 46-year-old man can make his own decisions, but, if he had some things going on up here that maybe didn't allow him to make the best decisions, really sad story. A lot of people probably did, let him down, And like I said, if they had maybe prosecuted these bozos sooner than letting this wait, like we see this a lot happen in the court system, they may have prevented a death. Basically, throughout that time period, you can Google it, or on YouTube, there's some people that did some really good coverage on it. Unfortunately, you can even watch some of the videos, where it leads right up to his death. But it was all on live stream, man. All live. So I heard about he was going to try to go to Antarctica. And that was one thing people were saying was how is he going to get data? So what's the story? You're saying Starlink is not allowed in Antarctica? How is that not allowed? Basically, if it connects to a satellite, I think you can get Starlink, right? It's kind of what I thought they did that in what country was it? Iran, right? Not Iran. Was it Venezuela that they gave free Starlink to? But I think it was actually Iran, too, that they went ahead and disconnected the internet. And, obviously you have to have the device, right? You can't get on a Starlink without the device. So I'm assuming as long as you had a Starlink device, you could get connect to the satellites for free if you were in those countries. But unless I don't know much about the device itself, unless I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you do have to have an actual Starlink device to connect. Well, yep. Let me just put it this way. I don't know if you guys are aware. This is kind of separate because it's a civil case, but this civil case could open up a lot of things possibly. But there is a civil case going on right now between Stake. They've even mentioned people like Aiden Ross, a few other names. What's the singer's name? That's also he's a huge promoter of Stake now. The guy that sings. He's from Canada too. Where's all my Canadians in chat? Drake. There you go. What's that one song? I don't wanna na 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 na. Yeah, that song. Anyways, yeah, they're starting to get investigated for one, promoting this, illegal gambling ring, which they're kind of investigating the feds and finding out. Two, they've also found out that they were using a tip. I guess there's a way you can tip people in Stake, I guess, which is kind of weird. There's a way you can tip other people that are using the same application. I've never used Stake or whatever. But they were using that to internally basically move money, shuffle money around, and they were using that money to buy bots. So they were botting themselves, their kick streams and all that. So I don't think the advertisers and people paying a lot of money to advertise on Kick are going to be too happy if they find out that basically the biggest streamers that are bringing in supposedly all these views they're botted views, And for the advertisers, they're paying for real views, you know what I mean? They don't want to pay money for bots. Bots ain't going to buy nothing. So I have a feeling that investigation, that civil lawsuit, because, see, when you do, they have what's called discovery, okay? That's a big deal in lawsuits. That's why a lot of people settle, okay? When you wonder, why do they settle? Well, a lot of times it's because whoever settled knows that if it gets to a certain point in the discovery process, that certain things can get out. And if those things can get out, those things can hurt they can cause more damage to the company or the person than just settling with that person. You follow me? So, I think that a lot of more stuff's going to come out, and I think it could lead to some investigations that may be going on. And with time, that's why I've always said, man, people go to Kick. I don't like the platform. I don't like what it promotes, and not that YouTube's any better, okay? But I think it's a lot better. But it's not perfect, It's still got its little devils and shit like that going on. They do a lot of shady shit on here too. But anyways, look at all the people. You got fucking, what's that football player's name? Remember the one that was at fucking Kick's biggest, their spokesperson. What's the guy? I just said his name not too long ago. Aiden Ross. Remember he had that party? It was like a pre-boxing. It was for a boxing match, and he had that pre-boxing party where that football player, what's his name? Help me, chat. He showed up. Oh, he's an old football. What's his name? He got in a lot of trouble. He's just basically like an Andy Dick version of a professional football player. Oh, and he was a good football player, man. He was a fucking awesome player. No, not Orlando Brown. Was it Orlando Brown? But anyways, he's now was streaming on Kick. He was hanging around with all these big Kick streamers, and on live stream on a Kick stream, somebody tried, I guess, allegedly to rob his. He had one of those big fancy chains the rappers have. They tried to rob it, and he went chasing after the guy. Well, there was shots fired. The original story was, he was trying to defend his life. He got in a struggle, took the gun from the guy that was trying to rob the chain, shot at the guy. Bullshit story, okay? Security cameras show exactly what happened. When he went to run after the guy, there was an armed security guard next to him. He grabbed and stole the gun off the security guard, ran, and then shot just wildly, into the street trying to shoot this guy. I don't know if he actually even hit the guy or not. But now he's being charged with, I think it's like an alleged murder charge or something. Antonio Brown, not Orlando Brown. I think Orlando Brown's a singer. Antonio Brown. There you go, AB. What up, Whirly? Mondo. God damn, boy. I already did a Mondo investigation, bro. I brought you the exclusive, remember? I was the only first channel to bring you the Mondo body cam footage from when he got in his alleged wreck. AB, yeah, there you go. But yeah, now he's facing some serious charges. But that was like a Kick-sponsored party. All right, so I don't know if somebody got hurt or there's some damage, they may go after Kick. Because, again, that had to do with Kick. He was on Kick. It was a Kick-sponsored party. Aiden Ross is throwing it. That's what I'm saying. There's now all these little things now starting to add up. And I think eventually Kick's going to get in some trouble, man. Allegedly. And it could take some time. It could take a while, too. Well, he played for a few teams, I think. He even played, he's more, I think he even got a lot of his notoriety by playing with the Patriots, didn't he? He played with old Tom Brady, and Tom Brady used to like him a lot. Yeah, definitely he's a head case. Read his story. It's pretty interesting. They got there's some pretty good ones, but, just go to one of the popular YouTubers. They got some pretty decent Fallout documentaries about him, and up to this point now where he's facing this charge or charges. But, yeah, not trying to get off track too much. I just think Kick's going to be facing some legal troubles here soon. That's just my opinion. Bro, fucking, I think it was, who was it? What's his name? Nick White was actually pointing out or trying to drop some tea on at Chicken Andy. I guess supposedly, speaking of what they pay, I guess Chicken Andy was botting his stream like crazy for I don't even know how many months. And Kick wasn't picking it up or wasn't aware of it or whatever. And I guess at the time, Nick White was even showing his receipts because I guess Chicken Andy posted them at some time. But dude, there was he had made $12,000 3 or 4 months in a row. It's crazy. That guy was making 10 to 12 grand a month. Okay, botting the shit out of his streams. Then I guess apparently Kick finally found out because I think Nick White kept ratting him out and complaining about it. And I guess they significantly dropped his KPI to nothing practically now. But could you imagine that boy making 10 to 12 grand just doing the stupid shit he did? That's crazy, bro. And where do you think they get that money? They've been overpaying a lot of fucking streamers. I mean, you know how much money they pay to Aiden Ross and all those big streamers like Neon, and now they've got a lot of big people now. They've been getting a lot of these rappers and ex-UFC fighters now, and celebrity status people now to get on the streaming platforms. You never saw that shit years ago, right? Now you see these Nicki Minaj has a live stream now. You know what I mean, on Kick and shit like that. But I mean, where do you think they're getting all that money from? They just started up, okay? They're not even on the stock market, all right? They're publicly funded. It's just one rich dude that pays all these guys, and I'm sure a lot of that money comes from that casino venture, but sounds pretty shady. I think they said it's like stakes headquartered in some weird country or something, that like all these other online casinos are. That's what I don't understand. They make it sound like it's illegal, but you can still access it, right, on the United States. So I don't know how that works. I don't want to know, but I have a feeling that there's a lot of money laundering going on. And I mean, that's what they're accusing them basically of Stake doing in that civil lawsuit, is basically moving that money around so that they could secretly purchase these bots, keep that on the low, you know what I mean? And you got what's his face? What's those two brothers that box now or do the boxing matches? The Jake Paul brothers. One of them's getting in a lot of shit for this scam he pulled on. He co-signed this company that basically allowed you to buy like a stock market, kind of like these little crypto scams, but basically it was like called liquid something, but he was offering high-end collectible pieces like his Pokemon card that you see him wearing that's worth supposedly $5 million or something. He put that on as a liquid piece on this whatever it was scam, basically allowed people to purchase pieces of this card and other collectibles. So it allowed a normal guy like me and you to get into or be a buyer, a part of a buyer into like $100,000 piece of collectible merchandise. I could never afford $100,000 on my own, but maybe I could be a 0.01% owner by purchasing at $1,000. And what happens is at some point there was more private owners than Jake Paul, because he owned like 49% of it. Or is it Jake Paul, the older brother, the one that's getting in a lot of trouble? Yeah, Jake, or is that Logan? Logan Paul, sorry, Logan Paul, not Jake. Logan Paul, the older one, the wrestler. You didn't know he does professional wrestling now. But anyways, he did this thing where and his Pokemon card was the biggest thing they were advertising to get this company going. So a lot of people bought into it. It eventually got to the point where there was more shareholders that owned the card than him. So now he couldn't sell it. The shareholders could, and then they'd split the amount of money through all the shareholders. That's the way this is supposed to work. Well, this motherfucker, through some backdoor bullshit thing, bought the card back for $250,000, a card that they sold 2.5 million shares to. He bought back for $250,000, and now he's reselling that at an auction coming up here soon. So all these people, one, got scammed. They can't get their money. They can't even pull any money that they may high out. And basically this company just went to shit, and Logan Paul is just trying to wipe his hands clean of it and just pretend like he never knew of it, never was a co-owner, and just walk away from it. But I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think there's a class action, if it's my understanding, that's in the process for this little company he co-signed. And then it's my understanding that he did kind of something like ICE did. He had one of these little scam coins, too, before that he screwed over a lot of his people, too. So... But here's the thing, though, is these people get screwed over, but then they'll keep supporting the guy or keep just doing another, keep buying into his merch, his shit. And we've seen this before, I mean, you watch some of these streamers. I mean, Ski Mask Annie was a great example. Look how bad he treated some of the donators. I mean, that guy would call people names, dox them. I mean, horrible shit. And then you'd see those people back in his chat like 2 days later like, hey, Ski Mask, I'm sorry I made you mad. It's like, what the fuck? So, that's where these guys, that's the thing is as long as they still have people financially support them, buying their merch, watching them, I mean, this guy, it's crazy that, I mean, not saying that the WWE is not, or what is it, WWE now? Yeah, not WWF. That was back when I was a kid. Which, they had both WWF and WWE. But anyways, actually they had the WCW. But anyways, I think it's WWE now, right? I'm even shocked that an organization like that, which I would say probably 50 to 70% of their audience are children, teenagers, that they would actually have this guy up there, as kind of a role model wrestler, you know what I mean, after all the shit he's done. So it's pretty wild, man. And like I said, and then you still have people, maybe that he's the bad villain and people boo him, but there's still people buying his merch, buying his shirts, buying into those little Lunchables or whatever the fuck he sells now, So they can be pissed all they want, but as long as they're still there buying into that, all they're doing is helping the guy. Anyways, what up, little content? NJ Coin. I would never, dude. I just don't know how some of those people do it, bro. Like, even if I had the money, even if somebody told me, yo, we can do it, we'll scam. I would never do it, bro. I don't know how some of those people can sleep at night. It just blows my mind how some of these people just pretend like nothing ever happened and just move on with their lives. You know what I mean? It's scary, bro. I think you definitely have to be a borderline sociopath to do shit like that. Yo, that's good, man. What you been doing? A lot of the old, actually, that's more the wrist muscles. So you're actually doing some workouts then. Hey, I'm proud of you. That's what's up, little content. Keep doing it, my boy. Get swole. Whirly, I would buy a Whirly coin. I would buy a Whirly coin. What'd be your coin? Would you have the? You'd have to go with either the. What were you? What was that little meme you were known for, Whirly? The soda. I don't remember the exact story behind the meme, but I could see you making a coin with that, whatever it was. What was it that you were like hyping up, or what was your little meme with the soda? Was it like Sunkissed or some shit like that? I don't know. But anyways. All right, my friends. Any other questions, comments, complaints, concerns? I had fun with you guys, man. Good chat today. Thank you guys for all your support. I appreciate all the donations we got. Thank you for all my mods for being here. Thank you for all the members of the jury for all your continued monthly support. Thank you for all everybody being here, chatting, chilling, listening. I appreciate you. Tip of the hat to you. High C Lava Burst. There you go. He stole from McDonald's. You're a big supply owner of the Lava Burst there, Whirly. That's hilarious. Lava Burst coin. Bro, Papa Courts was trying to convince me to go on a road trip, cross-country road trip with some of these bad people. He thought that would be good content. Like, could you imagine, like, me and Ski Mask Andy trying to do a collab road trip? What up, Leahy? Probably be a good trip, I mean, I'm sure we'd get some decent donations. I'm sure he would. But sadly, that guy, he's such a fucking dipshit. I don't even think he would last a day or two. I could already see him having some type of little fucking crybaby fit and jumping out of the car. I've done a collab with Stick, the Stick from Canada. I've done, that was who I did an actual road trip with. But, I've actually met up my mods, too. Over our Midwest trip, I got to meet Super Roofer. I got to meet Dawson for the second time. I got to meet a lot of my viewers and friends on the West Coast and hung out with them, We got to hang out with DJ Darren and Bo and, we hung out with Eric and Mike. We did a little RV tour of the old Riverside. But I haven't done, other than like an actual real road trip, yeah, I've done that with Stick was his name. Remember we went to Ski Mask Andy's hearing. That was his second hearing. He was first or second hearing that we showed up to. I think it was the first one. That clip actually went viral. That was the first clip that the NJCourts channel actually got featured on, what's that big clip channel? IRL News Channel. Shout out to them. And then we had a few other clips go viral on there. Last time I talked to him, he said he was okay. But he's doing all right. I'd prefer him to speak on his behalf. But I did check in on him. Yeah, I had a blast, man. I had a great time. Midwest road trip was a lot of fun. We had a lot of just cool stuff to do there, and it was just fun hanging out with actually people that that I just chatted with, and obviously with Dawson, like I said, that was the second time I met her. But Roofer, I mean, I've talked to Roofer for 4 years and finally got to meet him. You know what I mean? And actually, I'd already owed Roofer a few fishing trips because I had passed through his area a couple of times, but unfortunately didn't have the time to stop. But I promised him this last time we were going to for sure make it a trip, and I had a blast, man. That was a lot of fun. Arkansas is definitely beautiful, especially that part of Arkansas. Well, there was that rumor going on. Remember when I went to cover Controla's court hearing in Jersey, and I went to New York for like a day or two, and I know Ski Mask knew it was bullshit, but he was just trying to go with it just because it made for him, he thought it makes money. Anything that is drama makes money for him, but he was trying to start some bullshit that I was staying at Bobby Dylan's and that he heard supposedly what was her dog's name again? I forgot. That they could hear it barking, and I'm like, bro, I'm at a fucking hostel in the middle of fucking Manhattan, right across from the fucking park, bro. Like, literally. But yeah, there was all sorts, and then like he had all his like stupid little old ladies trying to fucking make it like go with the flow, like, oh, he's over there, Ski, he's totally, but so we tried fucking with them for a bit. It was kind of fun, actually, making it kind of like I was actually over there and I had gone over to hang out with her, and I know he was pissed. Mandy, there you go, Mandy. I haven't watched Darren in a while, man. I hope he's doing all right. I had fun with DJ Darren. I'll tell you what, I give that guy props for fucking finding places to park that big-ass fucking RV everywhere he goes to, because I'll tell you, it's not easy, especially in that beach area he's at. It's a touristy area. Every place you park wants money or you can't park, so I will give him props, man, for that guy to be able to like just move that thing and live in it and figure it out. It's definitely not the easiest thing, but I guess he makes it work. But I had a good time with old DJ Darren. All right, my friends. NJCourts, Smo wants to tell you Scribble's life-threatening. What's new? Take a ticket. All right, man. I appreciate everybody's support again. Thank you guys for being here. Love you guys as always. Don't forget, check that 6 every once in a while. Make sure your head's on a swivel. And please take some time, instead of like what Scribbles is doing right now on a Saturday night, probably drunk, of course, wasting his time talking about old NJCourts. Instead, take some time to fix your life if you need to. If your life's going great, take some time to help somebody else fix their life. Take some time to love somebody, give somebody a call. You never know when it's going to be your last day, man. I'll tell you that for sure, bro. But, yeah, as always, love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. I might have actually a fun little road trip tomorrow, actually. So if all goes well, we might actually have a really cool stream tomorrow. I'll have a guest with me that you guys will probably like. You've never met her before, and she's a lot of fun. I'll tell you that, man. She's a hoot. She's one of my good friends that I've known for decades now. So, yeah, we might have a really fun stream tomorrow. So it'll be a good time. I can't guarantee it because it's up to her schedule. But if she's down to go, we're going to go somewhere really fun, have a good time, and I'm going to take you guys with me, and I hope you guys have a good time too. All right, my friends. Thank you again for everybody coming in the chat. If I miss saying hi or shouting out or somebody's question, it was not my intention. I'll try to catch you on the next one. Thank you for everybody's support. Thank you for all the members of the jury for being here. Thank you for all my mods for being here. And thank you for all the people that like me, hate me, or if you're somewhere in between. As always, I appreciate you. NJK, Vanessa Jean, you have a good one too. Thank you again so much for your support. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you, Gold Girl, for being here. I see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all my mods for being here. And again, everybody have a wonderful night. Love you guys. Take care. NJCourts is officially out. That was a good one. Of here. Where's my dogs? They gotta be out. Oh, no, they're in here. Hey, you guys didn't join me on the. Oh yeah, they ain't. No, there's real. They want their little, they're smart, okay? They ain't going to do it because they know I owe them. Every night I give them a little, I call it their midnight snack, but it's obviously not midnight. I give them a little evening snack. And they know that I haven't given it to them yet. So, see, they're smart, man, little food mongers. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. NJCourts is out. Peace in the Middle East for sure. We need it. Laters, everybody. Oh, wait. Hold on. I forgot. And I'm going to change. I have actually a really cool outro song, but I didn't have a chance because I was fucking around with my settings to get it in here. But we'll just go to our old outro. Where is it at? Oh, yeah, here it is. God damn it. There we go. There we go. Boom. Don't forget to sub and like. Appreciate you. And then I'll give you a little... This goes out to you. This is for you, Scribbles.
Louis Theroux, Duke and Jones, jiggle jiggle. My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. It makes me want to dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine. Shepherd's Bush, my compact push, Notting Hill Gate, my Fiat skate with a crate of Cabernet. But not today, because I gotta drive, I wanna stay alive. Not cause it's illicit, do I have to get explicit? As a matter of fact, I sip on the yak with Big and Reese, 200 diamonds in their piece. I'm trying to get mine, so I can shine. Jiggle jiggle, I like to see you wiggle wiggle. Jiggle jiggle, I like to see you wiggle wiggle. My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. It makes me want to dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine. I think that went really well, don't you? I enjoyed it. Nice being in the booth. So, unless you have anything else, that's a wrap.
What up, Red Morning? Have a good night, everybody.